Oh yes, the old theme song.
The whiskey, yeah.
Whiskey. Oh, he's drinking beer yet again. So, we tried to record this shit ahead of time, and it did not work so well. But then again, it is what it is. Fucking shit. But here's the thing. Oh man, broadcasting folks.
Don't get into it.
No, honestly, like I'm telling you right now, don't get into it unless you're willing to deal with a lot of fucking anger. But here's the thing though. Tonight, it's March 16th, 2018. It's time for Stone Cold Day. We love ourselves some Stone Cold Steve Austin. We fucking love him quite a bit. And yeah, he hasn't been wrestling in a long time. And I gotta tell you, I'm a huge Stone Cold fan. And I don't know if you guys love him as much as I do. I mean, would you put him in your top 10 best wrestlers list at all?
Oh, he'd been my top 5.
He's in your top 5? Damn,
Yeah.
okay. Not nice. And how about you, Trey?
He's in my top 10.
Okay. Oh, now someone's going to be looking like hating on my boy Stone Cold. Why he's not in the top 5 for?
Stone Cold's looking at top 10. God damn it. What the hell?
Yeah, Stone Cold's looking at Trey right now. This fucking expert thing, like just, you're gonna insult me with your goddamn top 10?
I should be goddamn top 1. God damn it.
I don't know why Stone Cold just sounds like retarded when I do it. I just No, I love Stone Cold quite a bit. And the thing is, last year on our SmackDown show, which is weird because Stone Cold was barely on SmackDown. I don't even think he was on the SmackDown roster at any point. After the brand extension. But the thing is last year we actually talked about some Stone Cold moments during our SmackDown reaction show, and I was like, dude, we got to do an actual show for this. It's fucking Stone Cold Steve Austin. Like, we got to give this guy some praise. So I thought it'd be good for us to get over here and name our top, because there's 3 hosts over here, and there's so many moments. We're gonna go to 16 moments. So you guys put this shit together. 316, you sorry son bitch. And yeah,
You sorry son of a bitch.
you son of a bitch. No, so tonight, yeah, we're definitely going to be doing our top 16 Stone Cold moments. We want you guys to tell us what your top... it doesn't have to be 16. That's a lot of fucking moments for one person. But if you guys do have some great moments, you guys can bring out tell us in the comments.
That shit was kind of hard to get together.
Yeah, by the way, too, you did have some issues with this. And you had issues in what sense, by the way? Like, finding good moments or just wanting to put so many on there?
It's just both. Because, it's like there's just so many great moments with him, but then a lot of those moments are just so small.
Yeah.
And it's like snap of a finger, it's done. It's like, and it's just such a great moment. It's like, does that even belong on the list? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you kind of had to make do.
I know. I would be in a situation. I'd be watching random Stone Cold videos on YouTube, and I'd just be like, "You made the list," and I'll put that up there.
But I didn't do that. I literally went from memory.
Yeah, which is good though. I mean, that's the shit that sticks with your memory, especially when there's so many moments. That's the shit that matters the most. That's the shit that,
especially when we're talking like over 15 years ago too.
Yeah, too. Yeah, this is shit. This is kind of hard for you when you're an older person. It's like, oh fuck, I could go way back then. I get dizzy thinking about it. But my boy Trey, was this hard for you to find stuff to put on your list, brother?
Man, I did so much erasing and deleting because the way I did my list, I went from best to one of my worst Stone Cold Steve Austin moments. And the thing is, it was really hard for me to find some bad Stone Cold moments I just didn't care for. But I eventually got there where I'm just like, oh yeah, this moment pissed me the hell off. but the thing is, the best stuff was just so hard because it's like I moved things around. Like I was like, no, number 16 is this. Wait, no, not number 16. Number 16 needs to be this. No, it was difficult. It was crazy. I was just like, God dang it. It was so much memories going through my head that it got changed up a lot. And some didn't even make it on the list, and I wanted to make it on the list. So
yeah, man. And I'm not surprised that was so hard for you guys to kind of find some stuff because, like I said, man, Stone Cold Steve Austin had such a huge amount of great fucking content pushed out throughout the years that, yeah, I mean, it was hard for me too in certain ways. Although I will say, like, I had to bring mine down. I had like 30. I was like, God damn it, bring it all the way back down to 16, please. So it was very difficult. And yeah, I'm actually wondering too, like Mr. Hovig, if you were to guess, what number 1 is, all of our rankings together into one thing, what would you guess would be your number 1 of this entire list?
I would think either WrestleMania 17 or King of the Ring 96.
King of the Ring 1996. Oh, the old Stone Cold promo. The Austin 316 says, "I shit my pants" or whatever.
Yeah, because that was because to be honest, that was the birth of Stone Cold. So
yeah, I mean that's the birth of this fucking holiday, y'all. Austin 316. Absolutely. I remember it's kind of funny. My mom, because she hated that watch wrestling back in the day. So when I actually started watching it, and he's like Austin 316, she thought it was like a Bible thing, like pro Bible. It wasn't blasphemous.
He ain't wrong. I mean, she ain't wrong.
Well, no, but he was saying it in a blasphemous way, though. He was saying like, you say your psalms and shit, but Austin 316,
Yeah, I know that. That's why I was like saying he ain't wrong, ma. Just go with it.
Well, no, it's just funny because I remember my friend was like, doesn't he say? I'm like, shut up, don't tell her. Like,
Shut the fuck up, or I'm a 316 your ass.
I know, and it's funny because I couldn't tell her any good Bible reason for why DX does the cross drop. I was like, no, they mean cross for Jesus. Like, it was like Jesus, they love Jesus with their dicks. Like, I don't know. Like, there was something to do to defend DX. And then you watch WCW's NWO New World Order. It's like, this is all bad, evil shit. Kane's coming out. He's on fire. People are cheering him. Like, what the fuck? So, I don't know, man. God, I just realized WWE is very, sanus. Jesus Christ.
I mean, Shawn Michaels did tag team with God against Vince McMahon.
Yeah, and I think they lost. Did they lose? Or did God win? Because God's undefeated right now. I'm just saying.
I don't remember.
Dude, I'm so curious. We'll probably look that up at the end of the show and probably never. And yeah, I'm going to ask you guys this too because I know that I keep up to date with Stone Cold. I mean, the movie Tactical Force that he did with Michael J. White and people like that. I know he did something with Steven Seagal. That's kind of like, what the fuck? I was really surprised at the stuff that he's doing with Steven Seagal. But do you guys kind of keep up to date with Stone Cold Steve Austin? Hovik, I know you kind of care at least a little bit about your boy watching Broken Skull Ranch and whatnot.
I do catch Broken Skull Ranch here and there. I do also listen to his podcast sometimes, especially on YouTube. I like it better on YouTube because they do all the important shit. Matter of fact, I do listen to a lot of his reviews on some of these pay-per-views and some of these segments. What was I going to say? I was listening to his review of Raw 25 after, his whole segment.
Yeah, full of shit a little bit because he was just like, "Oh yeah, it was great. The crowd was nice to me."
You know what? I don't, only because he's talking about it in his point of view. Mm-hmm. Because the crowd is going to be great for him. But I have to re-listen to the podcast again to see exactly what I remember him saying. But I mean, he probably had a blast back there. It doesn't mean the show was great, but he probably had a fucking blast. Well, I mean, we won't know. Only he knows. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I listened to some of the reviews. I remember one of the reviews that I listened to was the Taker Roman Reigns match from last WrestleMania.
Oh, him and his buddy were shitting on that.
Oh yeah, but I do listen to some of his stuff on the YouTubes.
Yeah, no, and I do too. Trey, I mean, he said before too about how he used to listen to the podcast, like the podcast Unleashed and stuff like that. But I was going to ask you, Trey, did you like his WWE Network stuff? Like when they went to video and started doing shit like that?
Oh, the awesome thing about that, because that was around the time where I stopped watching WWE Network because I got tired of it screwing up every pay-per-view. He would upload those podcasts on Podcast One, so I didn't have to deal with that because the WWE Network was pissing me off, so I didn't do that. Yeah. So, but I still got to listen to him, and I thought he did an amazing job. Because one thing I was worried about when he went on the WWE Network was them limiting him, and they didn't do that. They actually let him do what he normally does on the podcast. He got to ask those hard questions and everything, and that's what I love about Steve Austin's podcast a lot. That's why I used to religiously listen to it. Matter of fact, one of my favorite podcasts he did was when he went back and revisited some of his matches and gave his post commentary on it. He did it on the Kurt Angle match he had, and then the Rock match he had at WrestleMania 17, and the Bret Hart match, the famous Bret Hart match at WrestleMania 13.
I'm so curious what you'll say about that. Goddamn, man.
His post commentary on that stuff is amazing. I recommend you go back and listen to it. It should be on YouTube. I used to download his podcasts, so I have a list of old podcasts I have downloaded of his, but now I just listen to it on an app called Podbean because I still stay subscribed to it. I just don't listen to it as much as I want to. So yeah, but his podcast is still amazing to me.
There's so much content that he puts out too. It's just really hard to keep up. I mean, I like just his little fucking YouTube things over here. I keep up with him doing these he does these taste test things, trying fancy cocktails.
all the different cocktails and shit. Oh my god, it's so fucking amazing.
No, it's funny because he'll talk shit and everything too. He'll be like, "Oh, what the fuck is this garbage ass bullshit?
Oh,
Fucking
that ain't half bad.
cosmopolitan, fucking faggot ass shit." Like he'll go off and say the things.
He'll start saying, and then he takes it. He goes, "Well, goddamn, that actually ain't half bad."
Exactly. Yeah, I love that stuff, man. It's just hilarious. So yeah, I really love when Stone Cold does stuff like that too. And then you brought it up before too, the Zach Wilde thing with him doing a roast on Zach Wilde from Black Label Society, which was freaking hilarious, man. Like him talking about like you fucking Viking, you old
you fucking Viking. You don't know how to shower for 72 days straight. Well, here's a little gimmick right here. It's called a piece of soap. You rub it under your armpits like this, you fucking Viking.
Yeah, look at
There you go.
yeah, you stinky motherfucker. Now he's talking about fucking toothpaste and everything too. This shit's hilarious, man.
You brush these little gimmicks you got called teeth.
Yes, man. So,
Matter of fact, I'm thinking I'm gonna watch that after our fucking show.
yeah, no, I'm telling you, dude, I love when Soko does that stuff on YouTube. But the thing is, though, these are things that he's doing now, and he's still in the movies and whatnot too. And hopefully every now and then he will come back and do something cool. And I know you guys like the Raw 25 shit. I fucking hated that, and I hope he never does that shit again. But I do hope that maybe one day we can get him back in the wrestling ring. But we're talking about stuff when he was in the wrestling ring, and maybe a couple things that he wasn't in the wrestling ring per se, but we're talking about our favorite top 16 Stone Cold Steve Austin moments. Now, my boy Hovig, I'm gonna go and start this off, son. And I don't know why I just said my boy Hovig too, by the way. Like both of y'all.
Were you looking at me?
Yes, I was. I'm sorry, I was checking you out, boo boo. But here we go. Our number 16 moment. Stone Cold Steve Austin running to destroy people yet again, like he always fucking does. With a steel chair.
So it's a regular Thursday.
Exactly, basically. Man, so he didn't really do a lot of stuff on SmackDown. I don't remember him having too many great moments on SmackDown. But the thing is, though, man, he came back. This was like in 2001 of January 11, 2001. And this was basically the build to Royal Rumble. And the context of this was Vince McMahon and Stephanie kept screwing him out of matches, interfering, doing whatever they can to make him lose. And Stone Cold said, fuck it, I'm going to get in the Royal Rumble somehow. And he ran out to the ring and just attacked literally everybody. I mean, it's so funny. And this is why it works, too, for me, is because he's so, he's trying to cause some chaos. I mean, he is unrelentless. I mean, look at this shit. His hat flies out when he's going after Chris Benoit, and he just attacks fucking everybody. Heel, face, it doesn't matter. He's beating the fuck out of every single person. None of these guys have anything to do with them. They're not in a storyline. There's no build-up, no interview that led to this. It's just, he's uncontrollable. He's fucking mad. And I love when wrestlers are mad about a certain situation because you end up caring about it. Even though it's a stupid reason or it's a stupid wrestling thing, it's like, yeah, it's cool that these motherfuckers care enough to lose their shit on screen. But yeah, man, do you remember this at all back in the day, man? No, not at all. Yeah, did you like when Stone Cold would randomly come out to the ring and just destroy everybody, or did you feel like, yeah, it's not really lending itself to a story?
Oh, come on. Back when I was a kid, Stone Cold came out and fucked shit up. That was like watching God do work.
Did it ever make you question, though, like, why no one, like... No! I mean, it's like 8 guys versus 1, dude.
No, because when I was younger, the one thing I wanted to see is some Stone Cold stunning and some middle fingers getting thrown up, So, and it's like, and you get that shit going on, it's like heaven, you know? It doesn't need to make sense. This motherfucker just goes out and do whatever the fuck he was. It's like the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, no, I guess you're right. And, Trey, I was going to ask you, too, because, I mean, I'm a guy who cares about writing, and I will say this is not a great moment for writing, but Trey, did you care enough when he came out and destroyed maybe somebody that was your favorite wrestler? I mean, we got great wrestlers in the ring there. Dudley Boys, Chris Jericho, Edge. I mean, did that bother you at all when you were a kid or not?
Nah, because when I was a kid, I was into it. Because, like I said, man, it was this memory lane for me. The fact he even brought this moment, I forgot about it until you just said it. Because it was just an amazing moment. Like, I remember me and my grandma, like, yeah, get in that match, Austin, get him. Because it was just an exciting time. Because it was just like, I wanted Austin to be that rebellious person that he always was, and he was trying to do everything he can to get into that Royal Rumble match. And it's just fun to see stuff like this again, man. Just being that little kid, just laughing, just cheering on and everything. So as much as my favorite wrestlers, they were kind of in that match. It was kind of like I was more brought into the Austin stuff more than anything.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm looking at the two. One thing he liked to do a lot back in the day. Actually, I'm gonna show the full screen if I can. Actually, I can't. God damn, that sucks. But he's in the ring and got just big fucking heads in the way of this screen here. But he has a chair next to him. One thing that Stone Cold loved to do is he loved taking advantage of the show and saying like, "Hey, no matches are gonna happen unless someone gets me out of this fucking ring or I get what I want." And looking back as an adult now, it's a little babyish, honestly. Like, I'm gonna sit in the middle of the ring and I'm not moving my butt until you do. Like, man, just wait your goddamn turn. Like, people gotta have matches, man. What the fuck? I always thought that was funny. He loves sitting down his ass in the ring.
But here's the thing, though. Only Stone Cold could get away with that shit and still look fucking
Badass.
Badass doing it.
Yeah.
You know, if somebody were to do that nowadays, like, let's say Elias or some shit, they're gonna be like, get out.
Yeah, exactly. Like, get out. And no, you're not getting your fucking match, you piece of
Yeah, get shit suspended.
Yeah, that's what you get. You can get your last paycheck, motherfucker.
Yeah, suspended without pay.
Exactly. But moving on to number 15 on our top 16 Stone Cold Steve Austin moments. And this one, I'm very, very confused because Hovig, you being the weird motherfucker that you are, you always have the weirdest fucking choices for anything that you love.
Hey. Usually the weird ones are the hilarious ones, okay?
And well, let's see if this is hilarious. Our boy Stone Cold drops the fucking belt on Vince McMahon. And I love this because I always wanted, I wish I could hear him. He's just like, oh, like, I love that shit so much. Like, just him, like, overreacting like he usually does. And, but yeah, like, why did you like this? Why was it one of your favorite fucking moments, dude?
It's just so hilarious. It's just everything happens so, like, fluidly. You know, it floats so perfect. Fucking Vince is just standing in the middle of the ring with a new fucking belt. This motherfucker comes out holding his belt. And he looks at that belt and he's like, what the fuck is this? Wait a minute. And this happens.
Yeah, man.
Not a single thought crossed his mind. That motherfucker just did it.
Yeah, and I will say, I mean, back then when I was a kid, I liked this. And I didn't watch this live. I actually watched this like an Awesome Man tape.
Oh, man, that shit was great.
Yeah, but I will say, watching this now, it's like, God, dude, I hate to do this, but it's like disrespecting the title belts, man. I don't like that shit. I know that they threw the Intercontinental title, and Stone Cold did this too versus The Rock. He threw the IC title into the water or some lake in fucking Chicago, I believe, versus The Rock. Remember that?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then The Rock threw, in retaliation in 1999, The Rock threw the Smoking Skull Championship over that fucking bridge. And like, fuck, it's like, stop wasting the belts. And then, you know, one thing we see wrestlers do nowadays, you know, like John Cena always like carving out a new fucking design for these belts, like fucking like nothing. Goddamn Paige letting her boyfriend ejaculate over the fucking thing. Like, I don't know, man. Like, Trey, I was gonna ask you, like, do you care when wrestlers fuck with these belts at all, or I mean, like, what do you feel about the title belt and the prestige of it?
Man, it's difficult because I'm on the side where, like, you know, if it's storyline related, then I guess I kind of give it leeway. An example being New Japan Pro Wrestling Taisio Naito. His gimmick was he was getting sick of being disrespected by New Japan Pro Wrestling wrestlers, managements and everything. And he felt like he deserved to be a champion. And by the time he finally got the title, he didn't care anymore. And he would just throw the title in the air, and he was breaking the title each time he threw it in the air. So that's kind of storyline related. I kind of give it a little pass. But then you got stuff like Paige, like you just mentioned, where I'm just kind of like, why would you do that? You worked hard to get that title. So it's I'm kind of in the middle of that, you know, like storyline wise, sure. Outside of that, no. I don't think it should be a thing to disrespect the title.
And the cool thing about this whole segment too, that actually where I will somewhat agree with Hovig's pick, because on top of it just being weird and being funny, I was like, man, well, this doesn't really lend itself to anything good. And then I rewatched the whole entire scene. I was like, okay, this actually was a big moment. For one, it was his first night as champion, right? The night before, that whole Mike Tyson thing, the Shawn Michaels thing just ended. And on top of that, we did not know if he was going to, like, continue fucking with Vince McMahon or whatever. And Vince was telling him, like, listen, you need to be like me. You need to stop with your fucking middle fingers and your drinking beer and learn how to be cool. And Stone Cold was like, okay, I'll think about it. He walks around the ring, and then he just says, you know, yeah, boom, fuck you, bitch, and stuns his ass.
That's the first thing he did. He was like, all right, here, bah.
And it was like, shit like that was kind of like, yo, the next few months are going to be beautiful. Like, that was but yeah, we'll move on from that. And once again, we're going to go to something that I thought was pretty cool. And I didn't see this on your guys' list, so right now I guess we're just going through the singles that none of us really agreed on, or no one brought this up. But one thing I really loved, and this is number 14 on our top 16 list. Do you guys remember when Rikishi was fucking with Stone Cold, messing up his car, and messing around with Jim Ross?
Vaguely.
Vaguely.
Are we talking?
Vaguely.
Yeah, are we talking like 2001 era?
2000, in September of 2000. And basically what happened was while Stone Cold was pacing back and forth outside, your boy Rikishi, or he was inside, Rikishi was outside fucking with his truck. I mean, you'll see this right here. Ooh, and that would piss me off. That shit got me big time when I was a kid. Like, you motherfucker. To the point where even Rikishi grabs his fucking booze out like it's a goddamn baby or something. He's like, I'll hoot your booze and waste it like, you know, any other grown person would not give a shit, but it's Stone Cold, so of course, you know, being so special to the boy. But yeah, man, it gets to a point where someone actually comes in and tells Stone Cold, like, yeah, Rikishi's fucking shit up, and Stone Cold and Jim Ross start running up, like, let's get this motherfucker, you know, which was great. And it was good storytelling. It kept you on screen, you know. I mean, if there was a commercial break, I would have sat through it just to know what's going to happen. And then basically what happens at the very, very end is your boy Rikishi, for some reason, just takes off because he's a bitch. We see this over here. Rikishi's in the car, or at least you think he's in the car. The guy just takes off.
Making me run after you, goddammit.
Yeah, he's like, oh, fuck. And here's the thing. Stone Cold runs, gets in his car over here, his truck, and gets the fuck out of there. And you think that's going to be the end of the angle, right? But then, and I know it's a long thing here, but man, like this whole show knew how to continue things because later on you find out Rikishi was actually there the entire time, and he, you know, hit Jim Ross in the stomach. Mick Foley's making him stop. And it's like, damn. Like, there's so much shit going on here. Before you even continue on with this, what did you guys feel about Rikishi's heel turn around this time? Did you like what he was doing? Did you think he was convincing?
He did it for The Rock.
He did it for The Rock.
He did it for The Rock.
I mean, what did you think about Rikishi around this time, Trey?
I loved him.
Yeah.
I loved him. He was done with that too cool stuff, and I loved this Rikishi so much. It was amazing. And heel Rikishi doesn't get the credit he deserves, in my opinion, because to me, he did amazing during this time. And what better than going off the big man himself, Stone Cold Steve Austin? It was great.
Yeah, and the one thing to end this off is your boy Stone Cold Steve Austin returns. And here he is right here. And he knows about the Jim Ross thing. Apparently he found out whatever the fuck. But he comes back, runs over his fucking beard thing, his ice chest, comes out, and then I'll fast forward to over here where this motherfucker literally just destroys everybody. And I'll put up over here, this Jeff Hardy, the Hardy Boys, Execution, X-Pac, Chris Jericho. Stone Cold attacks literally everyone. Even Sergeant Slaughter and the referees and everything. And I mean, we brought it up earlier. I mean, it's really not too much to say because it kind of looks like the same clip at a certain point, too. But yeah, man, I love this scene so much. I really love it when Stone Cold would go out and just fucking destroy everybody. I mean, it looks like the same clip almost. And it's a good thing that it looks like the same clip because you knew that Stone Cold did this shit a lot.
Yeah.
Always fucking shit up. Always fucking shit up.
Yeah, man. So that's number 14 on our list. I know it's a long one, but that's what's so great about Stone Cold, too, is like, you know, just like Braun Strowman, sometimes it's not just a moment, it's an entire episode. I mean, Braun Strowman does this all the time, beating up Kane, Big Show backstage, comes back, fucks up tag team members, comes back, does this. It's a story that keeps you in there, and Raw nowadays is 3 hours, so you need something to kind of do that. And shit, Stone Cold did back then, which is 2 hours, so lovely. Yeah. I loved it. It was great. But moving on to number 13 on our top 16 list of Stone Cold moments, and this one I'm not too surprised about. Stone Cold, 1996, King of the Ring, Hovig. Let me ask you first why you put this up on here, man.
Come on, that was the birth of Stone Cold.
Yeah, I mean, of course. But
like, he literally went from the ringmaster to Stone Cold in like a matter of like 3 seconds with just that fucking promo alone, man.
No, true, but I mean, do you go back and watch this every now and then or not?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because see, I don't. And that's the one thing I would say. Yeah, because for one, this is bad. Michael Hayes is an awful interviewer. That motherfucker is the most corniest dude on the planet for me.
Oh, yeah.
But Stone Cold owned it, and this is around the time where WWE did not have any like faith in Stone Cold. I don't know if you've seen not commercials, but podcasts about it.
Yeah, no, they had no faith in that boy whatsoever. That's why they named him the Ringmaster.
Yeah.
And Stone Cold's like, yo, Vince, come on, man, I ain't with this shit no more.
Yeah, exactly. And Trey, I'm going to ask you, man, like, why did you pick this? Because I know you had it on your list as well.
I'll be honest, I'm kind of like you, Nick. I only put it on your list because it was an iconic moment. Yeah. I mean, and it's still a good moment. It's still a fantastic moment. But do I find myself going back to watch this moment all the time? No. Like, there's a lot of Austin moments I think are kind of way better than this. But I feel like you can't really do a Stone Cold Steve Austin list without having this moment in there because it's it's the birth of the Stone Cold character.
Mm-hmm.
So I just kind of put it there by obligation.
Yeah, exactly. I get you. And yeah, I really, I mean, it was an entertainment for its time because, man, no one was pulling out promos this realistic and this good. And, I mean, people say, oh, it's DX that kind of forced us to do this thing with the fucking, wow, why is there a fucking motorcycle on my goddamn window? That was loud as shit. Anyways. But yeah, like, with this moment, though, man, I mean, he's literally pointing at the camera, screaming, etc. I'm going to beat his ass, or I'm coming for everybody backstage. That's a pretty big, bold fucking thing to do. So, yeah, I love that moment tremendously.
Not only that, I'm also fucking glad that they got rid of that whole Ringmaster gimmick for him, too, because the first thing that comes to mind when I think of Ringmaster is that horrible Jerry Springer movie.
Oh, God, yeah, that shit was...
So, anytime I heard Ringmaster, I was like, oh, God, thank God it's not Stone Cold.
Yeah, and this is around the same era as our next one. This is going to be number 12 on our list. And this, by the way, dude, this looks like a fucking porno the way it starts off here. God, we got to change this.
Is this the Brian Pillman segment?
Yeah, Brian Pillman. Hopefully it'll show him.
Because I think it was Ganja's face or whoever the fuck that was blocking Pillman's fucking head.
Yeah, man, that's a bad art. We got to get Yodi to do something other than that. But yeah, so here's the thing. They're zooming in on I don't know if that was like a Ken Shamrock injury. I mean, it's really just his ankle there. And do you guys remember why Brian Pillman was injured? Because I don't remember this.
I don't.
Like, was it a real injury or was it that thing where Stone Cold hit him with that cane? Because that happened like in '96.
No, I don't know, man. I forgot.
Yeah, man, it's weird. And the way this whole thing seemed, it seemed like Stone Cold was the bad guy. So I was like, it wasn't during his face, time. I don't know. It's weird. But basically, people, this is actually when Stone Cold attacks Brian Pillman at home and his friends, by the way. This was some realistic shit. And Trey, I'm going to have you take this away, sir, because what did you like about this segment so much, man?
This moment is that moment where I thought wrestling was, real because, man, this moment still plays through my head each day because it was scary, man. I remember being a kid just freaking out, like, oh my God, the Stone Cold killed Brian Pillman. Like, what's going on here? Like, I asked my grandma, is he dead? Is he dead? I'll check the news, changing the channel to see was it everywhere on the news and everything. I was just freaking out, man. And it was just, I just loved this moment so much because it was a believable thing. Like, I thought it was legit.
Right there.
And it was
right
awesome.
there.
Yeah, right there.
When he pulled out that fucking gun, I'm like, holy shit! What? Because at that time, especially when we were younger, we don't know what the fuck kayfabe is, and then this motherfucker's pulling out a gun on Stone Cold. We're like, someone's about to die.
And who do you feel sorry for in a sense too when you're a kid? Because when you're a kid, it's like, well, Stone Cold went to his house. That's some scary shit. He won't stop. This is sadistic. And the announcers,
what's even more fucked up? You don't understand what's going on until you get older.
Exactly.
Because when I was a kid, I was just watching some shit going on. He just pulls out a gun. I'm like, oh my God. And then when I get older, I was like, damn, it was all a work.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I love this. I love this scene so much, though, man. Once again, fucking great pick for our number 12. And yeah, man, a 12 moment being on here, I do think that it is deserving of that spot because of the fact that this was actually pretty crucial just for the programming on Raw, anyways, where anything can happen. Before this, I don't think we ever thought that anything could happen. And after this statement, it was like, okay, you know what?
No,
they brought guns, motherfucker. Like, this could be fucking any show at this point, and that's badass. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at one point, I think the slogan was "Anything can happen" for WWE.
Yeah, exactly, and it really did fit, But my thing, and it actually, believe it or not, it's so funny how they are right next to each other, and I didn't do this on purpose. It just so happened to be this way. But right next to Stone Cold and Brian Pillman is more Brian Pillman. Stone Cold challenges Brian Pillman to a wheelchair match.
I forgot about this.
Look at Stone Cold. Stone Cold like, God damn it, these stupid ass goddamn ties. They won't fucking listen to me. Yeah. Motherfucking word I say.
No, this shit's hilarious, man. And I even remember, like, he gave up at a certain point, too, with doing that. He just fucking grabbed the wheelchair and just threw that shit. But yeah, there's not really much to talk about here other than just
it's self-explanatory.
Yeah, it's just funny because it's like, this is a serious thing that's going on with him and Brian Pillman, and they're going out, they're going to war. Right? We just showed the clip right now of Brian Pillman almost killing him with a fucking gun. And then he's like, yeah, I'm going to make fun of this son of a bitch. He can't walk. I'm going to find him in a wheelchair match, and I'll fuck his ass up. I mean, it was hilarious, man.
And the best part is when he gets up and throws the fucking wheelchair over the banister. He's making fun of Pillman for being in a wheelchair, and he's sitting there rolling his ass down in the wheelchair. He's like, "Fuck it!" He just gets up and throws it.
And he keeps giving up on it too. Like he'll be sitting down in the ring in a wheelchair, and he just moves out of the way, like, "Oh, fucking thing, move out of my goddamn way." You know, like I thought that was fucking hilarious.
It's just hilarious.
God, yeah, that's our boy Stone Cold. You know, bring the humor in that shit too. And speaking of bringing the humor, our number 10 best moment in Stone Cold scene.
Is it what I'm thinking?
You know what? Let me see what you're thinking. Actually, tell me. What do you think?
Is it fucking Kumbaya Stone Cold?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay. But not yet.
Well, I don't know. My bad. I think I may have spoiled. I'm not sure. This shit over here, though. Lance Storm and this dude having a match, Garrison Cade, and Stone Cold comes out and falls asleep. Stone Cold literally telling him, boring.
Wasn't this when he was a sheriff?
Yeah. Or no, but he was general manager. This was before the
sheriff. Yeah, the sheriff, general manager. The fact that this motherfucker was a general manager.
I mean, this is like, you know, I thought the CEO thing was crazy, but like, you know, him being the general manager and then doing it for so long. I mean, he's just talking like, God damn, I'm getting so tired. Jesus Christ, I'm so sleepy.
He brought out a pillow and a blanket.
And he ends up distracting Lance Storm, just talking so much shit. Like, oh my God, you can. Like, I mean, he was just talking so much shit. I mean, I don't want to do a disservice. You guys need to go check this fucking thing out. Type in Stone Cold shits on Lance Storm.
Matter of fact, disclaimer: any one of these segments, you just need to go check out.
Yeah, man, this shit was hilarious. And I was gonna ask you guys, like, Trey, do you remember this segment at all, brother?
Man, not till you just showed it to me just now. This was not in my mind at all until you just showed it. I forgot about it.
And this did lead to a character change, believe it or not, with Lance Storm, which was way funnier. I mean, it was stupid, but it was way funnier. But I do say, and I always complain about this, so don't think that I don't know this, even with my boy Stone Cold. But I fucking hate people break the fourth wall and shit on people's careers. And this was him doing that, so I will say I hate that they did that. That's an awful way to build a character like Lance Storm, because he's a great wrestler. And Stone Cold completely shell over him. So that was not cool. I hated that. But it's just so fucking funny, man. Like, it's just one of those things that's just, I can't help but go back and watch.
Come on, man. The motherfucker brought out a pillow and just starts laying down on the ramp.
Yeah, man. Fuck WWE for that, though, because y'all shouldn't have said that's okay.
And, you know what?
Kill Lance Storm's heart, man.
No, you know what? At the same time, only Stone Cold could get away with that shit, man.
No shit. You know what I mean?
Only he could get away with that shit, bro. That's a Deadpool shit right there.
Now, I mean, hopefully I'll find a better clip of this particular thing next, but we're on to our 9th best moment. Okay, now we're in the top 10,
damn,
sir.
Already?
Already, sir. Already.
God damn.
And this one's a sad one. Now we're getting into some sad stuff. But your boy Hobig is the one that actually, I think, posted this. Or I could be wrong. But, yep, WrestleMania 19, folks.
I was. That was me.
Yeah, there's Stone Cold going down. And The Rock beats him. And this was some emotional shit, man. The thing is, I had no idea this was going to be his last match when it happened.
No one.
Me neither.
I mean, did you guys see it, like, okay, beforehand, did you feel like, okay, Stone Cold's starting to look like he doesn't want to do this anymore? Maybe, like, could you guys see him quitting soon? Or nah?
No. Because the thing is, everything was set up. Like, the way the promo was set up, The Rock never beating Stone Cold, and then that awesome promo with the crack addict and everything, everything was just done in a normal Stone Cold versus Rock way. So when I found out eventually this was his last match, because it wasn't advertised as his last match, I was just caught off guard. I was just like, wow, really? Like, okay, like, I'm too surprised.
Like it was literally just another WrestleMania. It was another pay-per-view. It was another match for Stone Cold, and all of a sudden it was his final one. It was like, and then what's even worse is that the year after, going into WrestleMania 20, they had like a little documentary for WrestleMania 19.
Mania of WrestleMania with Jesse Ventura doing the thing, and Stone Cold was crying during that interview.
Yeah, and Stone Cold's crying through that interview, and then The Rock was talking about what he was saying to him. I'm like, holy shit. Like,
yeah,
The Rock was like, I love you, man.
I love you and all that. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, and if you play the clip, you can see The Rock just push the fucking referee out of the way and saying, like, get the fuck out of here. This is not for you. This is adult. This is adult talk right here.
Yeah, like, I'm trying to like see if I can pull it up really quick too. Like, The Rock's just like, and you can see he wants to cry probably. You know what I mean? But this is like, there he goes. Yeah, get the fuck out of here. I'm trying to tell him something.
Yeah. So, and it was also, I picked that because I thought it was quite emotional. Not when it happened, but after finding out exactly what was going on. It was like such a big emotion. It's like, shit, that was Stone Cold's last match, and it was to The Rock, like two big icons in the WWE. And it's like, like, there's really no other words that can explain it, you know?
Yeah, and I mean, definitely watch Mania Wrestling to see more about that, man, because that is, I mean, he almost died the night before, dude. Like,
I was just about to mention, like, he was in the hospital the night before. Like, he had shortness of breath, or he couldn't breathe, or something was going on.
Yeah, it was basically an extreme anxiety attack that he was having.
Yeah, and no one knew if he was going to have that match the next day. Like, it was just like a whole domino effect of shit with Stone Cold for that night, for WrestleMania 19. So.
See, I know a lot of people say that. Well, not a lot of people. WWE was hyping up Undertaker and Triple H as the end of an era, but to me, unknowingly, this was the end of the era for me.
No, do you know what? That was an end of an era with Stone Cold and The Rock because
they both left after that.
Well, no, The Rock stayed around because he also ended up facing Austin Copycat Goldberg. So,
that's hilarious.
But love you, Goldberg. But what was I gonna say? But it was literally the end of an era for Stone Cold because that was it. He didn't wrestle another match. Triple H, Taker, and all them did except for Shawn Michaels.
Exactly, yeah. But I mean, like, it wasn't an era. Like, honestly, I think that right there was the death of Attitude Era because if you don't, like, the thing is, leading up to this, The Rock was gone for a little bit too right before this. Because remember in 2002 when they took out the F logo?
I think he was filming the Scorpion King, I think.
Yeah, and a year prior to this, they just barely changed WWF to WWE. And a little bit of Attitude Era was still around when WWE was around. I mean, like, granted, John Cena came and said, I'm going to give you ruthless aggression, you know, which was great. You know, I mean, John Cena was actually kind of okay in the beginning. But the thing is, though, is like he still has so much of Triple H, you know, beating the fuck up people with sledgehammers. It was still really bloody, and I felt like, you know what? This is, like, the extreme of Attitude Era. And then when Stone Cold and this whole thing happened, like the night after this too, it was basically like, hey, fuck all these guys. Like Goldberg came, yes, great, but like we were doing so much more goofy shit. You know, Hurricane Helms was on fucking everything, and yeah, it just got silly. But yeah, the reason why I'm emphasizing this moment so much is because a lot of people talk about it. And yeah, man, just I love that scene so much. Stone Cold, The Rock, the two of the greats. But moving on.
And not for nothing, bro. That fucking match was actually pretty dope too.
Yeah, to be your last match and to be almost dead the night before, good fucking job. Like, you know.
Yeah. That was matter of fact, I'm gonna watch that match soon.
Yeah. God, the build up too. That song, the Crack Addict song. I mean, I love My Way, but that Crack Addict song's like, you know, 1, 2, go, whatever the fuck that shit was. Like, 3, 2, fuck, I don't know. I do think it's kind of weird that Biscuit's like, I'm a crack addict. So fucking forget it. Like, I was like, what? You're a crack addict? Like, what? It's not pathetic. Like, I think it is pathetic. You're a crack addict. So that was a weird song. But moving on, though. Number 8 on our list.
Number 8.
Number 8. We're getting close to the number 1, son. And, yeah, I'm going to go and pull this up. This might remember. I'm actually going to play it, and you guys tell me if you guys remember this. You got Stone Cold coming out of a truck. It's on SmackDown, and there's the NWO.
Oh, the NWO. Yeah. Getting their asses handed to them.
Yeah, look at Scott. Oh,
God damn it, Razor. Stand still while I beat your ass.
Oh, where'd you get so goddamn fast all of a sudden, you son of a bitch? Like, look at that shit.
It's gotta be that whiskey.
Look at that shit. Like, that Stone Cold's a fucking predator on this dude, man. Jesus Christ. Like
listen to
Oh man, and so do you guys remember this episode though, like just in general?
Dude, wasn't that like leading up into WrestleMania 18?
It was, but the thing that's special about this episode is this was not the only time we saw these two. This whole show was Stone Cold torturing Scott Hall throughout the entire fucking thing. Like, he chases them with the car in the back, tags Wad on their limo and cuts out their tires in the limo. And Hogan and Nash, it's like a horror movie. They're hiding in rooms, they're hiding in bathrooms, they're hiding behind gates, and they're just looking for Scott Hall. And every commercial break, you'll see Stone Cold with Scott Hall getting drunk on top of him, beating the fuck out of him, wrapping him up in tape, talking shit to him. Trey, I'm gonna ask you, do you remember this show by any chance, or?
Man, I remember vaguely seeing clips of it, of the NWO moments in WWE, but I don't remember that whole episode. But I remember seeing some of the stuff Stone Cold did to Scott Hall, and it was pretty hilarious.
Yeah, if you take up all the scenes of just Stone Cold and Scott Hall, this was about 55 minutes of the show. Like, just Stone Cold and Scott Hall moments. And that's a lot of Stone Cold and Scott Hall, but they managed to make it interesting. And, God, dude, I love watching this, too, because it just reminds me of the times where Scott Hall wasn't being, like, destroyed by his addictions and all the awful shit that happened with him. This was, like, great Scott Hall shit. He was funny. He was fucking athletic. Like, you know, I love Scott Hall, man.
He's just beating the fuck out of him.
Yeah, and he tries to run him over, which, by the way, they'll never do this shit again, but he's literally trying to run his ass over. He gets in his car, and we see this. He's looking back.
I got you, Razor Ramon. Call me Ice.
Yeah, dude, that shit was great. I love it. I love it so much.
God damn.
But yeah, man, so that's the number, I don't even know where we're at. 8.
That was 8.
Now, getting to number 7, and I know you guys remember this shit. Ooh, I do, and I do, and I do, and I do. Your boy Brock Lesnar. Over there stealing your boy's ATV.
ATV. Is this when he goes and gets that shit back?
Oh, yes, he does. He goes back. And Trey, you remember this too, man. What do you want to say about this real quick before I show the big kahuna?
Man, just amazing. It's just amazing. Hardcore Stone Cold moment that just ended up being one of just awesome.
Yeah. I mean, it was cool. This was one of those, like, fucking Seems to Go action film type moments where he's just, like, standing there. He's like, yeah, all of you guys better move out. I'll fight every fucking one of you. And they all just start moving out of the way. I thought that was pretty cool. They all respect him. I mean, do you think that was a fear thing, a respect thing, or a Heyman thing? Like, what do you think that was, Hovig?
That was I don't know, but that shit was amazing though. I remember watching that shit live, and that was the go home show for fucking WrestleMania.
Yeah, which is funny because they knew that, man, people do not like Brock and Bill so much that the storyline is Stone Cold versus Brock. Like, fuck whatever big moment they have. He wants ATV, you know.
My favorite. I just love how Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar got the entire locker room, or like the majority of the locker room, out in the arena. And they're all just sitting there, like right in front of Stone Cold. Stone Cold came out with like his gloves and everything. He's just sitting there looking. and then the Big Show just signals everybody to get the fuck out. I'm like,
I'm glad you brought this up, because here's one thing I gotta say. The only thing that keeps this from being on any of my top 16 moments, Big Show ruined this segment. I'm sorry.
The way that he called everybody to get the fuck out?
You gotta watch. You'll see this, and he does this really... I don't know why wrestlers do this. It's the goofiest, most cartoony shit. Watch. Hopefully they show it.
Paul Heyman with hair.
First they're going to look at each other and, like, I'm going to eat the fuck out of your ass. Like, he's just, like, making out with each other there, basically. Fucking, I don't know why. That's another thing I don't get about wrestling, too, when they make something that should take, like, a minute, and it takes 5 because they want to, like, look at each other. That's one thing that bothered me. But the biggest thing, too, is, like, they're looking at each other, and your boy Big Show... And he was a heel at this time, hardcore heel. Yeah. And he's just like, you know, jealous. Yeah. I was like, that was way too goddamn dramatic. Like, whoa, why? That didn't make no goddamn sense. I hate that shit so much. Great moment. And Stone Cold beat the fuck out of Brock Lesnar, too. That was a great little brawl they had, too. I mean, and by the way, too, when you saw this, Hovey, did you feel like Stone Cold and Brock Lesnar were going to have a storyline past WrestleMania 20?
Shit, I was hoping. I wanted Stone Cold to beat the fuck out of Brock Lesnar at the time because, like you said, like Brock Lesnar wasn't like the best thing back then. Even though Paul Heyman said he was the next best thing. But look at that! I do like Brock Lesnar's shirt though. Like, look at that shit. Like the hooks on the back. Oh, but that's some Leatherface shit right there. But
they too have a great chemistry with the brawling.
And you know what's even worse is that they wanted Stone Cold to go up against Brock, but they wanted Brock to go over. And Brock and Stone Cold was like, "Fuck that! That's why I'm walking out."
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, what was the fact that they were doing it without a storyline? And
yeah, that too.
Stone Cold was just like, wait a minute, like I'm not going to lose to him like that. Where's the story? Where's the push? Yeah. You know, like Stone Cold. That's why I like Stone Cold still calling WWE what it is, wrestling, because he knows how to advance things. The WWE didn't want to advance anything. They just wanted Brock to have a win just because Stone Cold is a legend. Stone Cold wanted to have a legitimate feud with Brock Lesnar, and WWE didn't want to do that because trying to make Brock the quotation mark next best thing. So I'm glad Stone Cold did what he did. Really.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree, and that was some awful bookings.
He did CM Punk before CM Punk was a thing.
No, and it's funny too because that was all for King of the Ring tournament match too, and it's like, why would Stone Cold?
That's
try to get...
right.
Yeah, and it's like, why would Stone Cold try to even get into the King of the Ring? He fucking won
Oh
already.
That's
And
fucking
then
right.
on top of it too, the week before, Stone Cold won the rights of Ric Flair being his bitch. Like literally, that was the gimmick. If he lost the match, he's his bitch. So I thought it was kind of weird that, like, why would Stone Cold in a storyline, now that he has rights to make his own matches, why would he set himself up for a King of the Ring match against Brock? Like, there was not 1 ounce of thinking anything that had to do with that. So I'm glad Stone Cold walked out for that shit. And I think they really did kind of do something cool here. And, you know, I mean, granted, it's for an ATV, that was kind of silly. But, like, yeah, they made up for it with this. I mean, anyone who wanted to see them fight, there you go, you know, and it was cool.
That's the closest you're going to get to Brock Lesnar versus Stone Cold.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I thought that was pretty cool. But moving on, we're going to number 6 here. And number 6, something that if Anthony was here...
We're already down 10.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Shit.
Man, you're going to love this. I mean, if our boy Anthony was here, he would have loved this too, because this would have been his number 1. This was fucking beautiful.
I chose this shit.
Yeah.
Who else chose this one?
Oh, no,
Not me.
Oh, we all did. Okay.
no, it wasn't
No,
Trey.
not me. Not me. I did.
Oh, not you.
Yeah, no, it was me. But yeah, like this
It was
shit
me
was
too.
great. Yeah, it was CM Punk. Basically, you know, he was a champion. You got Stone Cold being, you know, interrupted by John Guru's face. But yeah, this was fucking awesome, man. Jim Ross sold this great. He was a great referee between these two talking shit. But it was all for a video game. It was just. And here's the thing too. I'm gonna see if you think the same way about this whole because I know we talked about this before. But when they do these little video game things, like bringing Undertaker back for a certain game, or Bill Goldberg being like on the cover of 2K18 or 2K17. It's because they're planning on doing something with them where they're going to start wrestling. They're going to start building up like some hype.
Yeah.
Don't you think that they're building for actual Stone Cold versus CM Punk match because of this happening?
I swear to Christ, I thought that they were. I swear to, because like you just mentioned it, because they do that shit from time to time, like every year, all the time, and I think they tried to do CM Punk versus Stone Cold at once at least, but after I saw that video, and I think it was like 8 minutes long, 10 minutes long, like the entire thing, right? After I saw that, I'm like, oh my God, just give me one match between these two. This is all I want. But it never happened.
Yeah, it never happened, and I don't know how it did not because, I mean, and it was weird because, like, I didn't even know what to feel about these guys. Like, CM Punk was my favorite wrestler at this point, especially with his whole pipe bomb stuff, whatever the fuck, and I was kind of like, you know what? I want Punk to win. Like, I'm picking. If I had to pick a side, fuck Stone Cold. You know what I mean? Like,
I would do a last man standing match between the two and have both of them sleep.
yeah, exactly. I mean, it's fucking awesome. But like,
like that'd be one of those situations. I was like, I love both. I wouldn't know who to choose, so I was like, they both lose.
yeah, exactly.
Draw.
You know, have Braun Strowman go in there and just beat them both.
There you go.
Who wants these hands?
You don't get these hands.
But Trey, like you, man, what'd you feel about this promo? I mean, I know you've seen this. You had to have seen this.
Yeah, I've seen it, man. Like I've seen all the CM Punk Stone Cold stuff that came out around that time, and I'm with Hovik. I thought legit like this was gonna happen. like I thought Stone Cold would come back to the ring, and that's I was really listening to the podcast then to see is he coming back? Like is he gonna say like da 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 da? And I think I remember him saying something like they tried to work something out, but you know Stone Cold was like really want to stick to his guns. We're no longer wrestling and stuff. But God, I want to see this match for real. I really want it to happen.
And this is around the time, too, where Paul Heyman first started coming back. And I was like, dude, wouldn't it be great if, like, Jim Ross is Stone Cold's boy, Paul Heyman is fucking CM Punk's boy, and maybe they do some promos against each other? Like, oh, God, dude, imagine Paul Heyman being anywhere near that feud. Oh, it's fucking great.
And I think CM Punk was a Paul Heyman guy, too, at the time.
Yeah, he was. Well, he wasn't heel yet, but he was about to become heel.
Yeah.
So it was just, God, oh, so perfect. The way they were doing it was so perfect. And it just didn't work out, ladies and gentlemen. Fucking sad. Fucking sad. Moving on. Number 5. Now we're in the top 5 of our best moments. And this one should not be a prize to fucking anybody, sir. But your boy is Stone Cold Steve Austin, my boy from back in the day, Mike Tyson. And they in the ring. Man, for one, this should have been a match. How the fuck was this not a match, ladies and gentlemen? Like, come on. Mike Tyson, Stone Cold, Mike Tyson.
I don't know, man.
It should have happened.
Yeah,
to be honest, I mean, if that was some shit that happened these days, we'd bitch and moan. But if that should happen back in because we all know Mike Tyson can't wrestle, he can't do shit. Now imagine if him and Stone Cold actually had a match.
No, because
Like-
here's the thing, dude.
Like, how good would you think that would be? You know?
I thought it'd be something simple that they can teach Mike. Because one thing I will say is like, Mike in real life will fucking destroy Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh yeah, no, without a doubt.
Yeah, and it was like, who else at this point? At this point for this whole year, actually for almost like 4 years, who was better than Stone Cold? There's only one person. There's only one man that's clearly even nearly as rebellious and badass, and that's Mike Tyson. You know, especially because Mike Tyson was a real life Stone Cold. I mean, you guys remember those interviews where Mike Tyson would be like, you know, hey, fuck you piece of shit, talking to me.
Fuck you, I'm gonna eat your kids.
Yeah, exactly. Like, Mike Tyson's a crazy motherfucker. So, I mean, I thought that was a great marriage to be had there. But like you, Trey, like, what'd you feel about this? And did you watch this live, by the way, the whole Stone Cold and Mike Tyson thing?
I caught it like on post because my when I didn't have cable, I recorded it on VCR and stuff. So we'd watch it like afterwards and stuff. But man, this was amazing. I marked out and even everything like and freaking Mike Tyson's promo was cracking me up the whole time. The way he was talking, especially when he was like, "No statement, no," like he was saying his favorite wrestler. But when Stone Cold came out, man, they had that face-to-face conversation. He started talking, man. Oh, dude, I blew up, man. It was awesome. Matter of fact, the first thing I did when I got WWE Network was rewatch that moment. I rewatched that very moment. That's one of my favorite Stone Cold moments of all time. It was just great. Everything was laid out just right. I just wish they actually went against each other. Like I wish Mike Tyson got to do more than just being the special guest referee and whatnot. So, but yeah, it was a perfect moment.
Or the way he's talking to special ed referee, because I can't stand it. He keeps calling him Cold Stone, and that was the thing that used to frustrate the fuck out of me. Like, hey, it's my boy Cold Stone. I'm just like, stop calling him that. It's fucking easy to call him the right thing. Even in WrestleMania press conference, I had the VHS, the Legacy WrestleMania VHS, and at the end of it, they had the press conference on there.
Oh yeah, the post WrestleMania shit.
Yeah, and fucking Mike Tyson calls him Cold Stone like 5 times, and finally Stone Cold just breaks and says like, "Yo, it's not Cold Stone, it's Stone Cold, and that's the bottom line." And Mike's like, "I'm sorry, I'm so sorry."
Yo, Cold Stone.
Yeah.
Now I want some ice cream. God damn it. Cold Stone. God damn it. I want some vanilla ice cream with sprinkles.
I know I'm trying to do this goddamn interview and I'm getting hungry as fuck over here. Yeah, I thought that was fucking hilarious. But moving on, and this one is only this high because I voted it as one of my favorite fucking moments of all time.
What number are we on?
Number 3. This is actually
number 3 or 4?
Oh, 4. It's number 4. My bad.
Shit.
No, this is number 4, and actually no. One other person actually voted for this, not as high as I did, but I voted this really fucking high. But yes, Stone Cold Steve Austin's huge return after being ran over, and he stuns the fuck of Steve Blackman and Shane McMahon.
Oh yes.
Yeah, and by the way, like everyone knows, anyone try to look this up, like I don't know why the fuck that dude has this so small in the corner, on the right corner. So yeah, sorry about that. I'll fix it in post. But yeah, Stone Cold, man. I love that. For one, that was the debut of his Disturbed song. That stand up, like, dude. When you first heard that, Trey, like when you heard that theme song, what'd you think? Because I was a little like,
the pain and the pain is only the beginning.
But like Trey, like, or for one, did you watch this live when you saw this?
No, I didn't. Another VCR. VHS. Yeah.
But to be fair, since we were a lot younger, I think a lot of the shit was VCR.
Yeah, well,
I know mine was.
Well, I got mine like it was a pay-per-view, and I recorded on VCR, but yeah, I watched this shit live, and this is my first ever wrestling party that I hosted, because I used to go to my neighbors' wrestling parties, and this one I was like, no, guys, Stone Cold's coming back tonight. I've been watching SmackDown and Free For All. He for sure is coming back. Ain't no backlash shit, like, whatever. And I waited all show, and he slowly, like, he beat the fuck off Kurt Angle, and there's a couple, like, slowly, like, okay, like, he's here, but will he come out to the ring? And when that glass breaks, and that crowd pops, and it's fucking Disturbed, my favorite band at the time, because I have, like, everyone knows my favorite band is Korn. And for a while there, Korn wasn't coming out with new shit, so my new favorite band was Disturbed for a little bit, and man, they're playing my favorite wrestler to the fucking ring. It doesn't get better than that, y'all. Like, holy shit. And then when he comes into the ring, like, it was almost weird because I was like, is he a heel? He's helping Shane McMahon? He beat the fuck out of Steve Blackman? Like, that's crazy.
And then it's like, all right, give him a minute.
Yeah, and then he fucking turned on Shane. And I just didn't know what to think. I was like, guy, he might be a heel, might be a face. I'm glad he's back, but I don't know what he's going to do next. What the fuck? And it was just, so insane to me. But like you, man, did you think this was one of his best returns, or what did you feel about this?
It was.
Yeah.
it was one of the best. To me, this was a bigger pop than when Triple H came back, in my opinion, because it was just everything was just done amazing. Especially how many times Shane is a champ for taking that many stunners. By the way,
yeah, like 3 or 4 fucking stunners.
Man, God, and to me, besides The Rock, Shane is the best, one of the best people to take a stunner from Stone Cold Steve Austin. It was just.
Hang on, Scott Hall takes a fucking stunner too.
Well, we only took a very little amount of stunners. He took like 2 stunners in his whole career, and I will say it was a good stunner though, because that stunner he flew like fucking. I thought he had like those Iron Man feats, like
yeah.
Yeah. But like, hopefully, does this kind of rank anywhere close to your top favorite like Stone Cold returns or returns in general? Or
to be honest, I kind of forgot about it.
No.
I'm sorry. I did totally fucking forget about it. Shame. I know. Ding, shame. But I'm gonna have to YouTube this shit later so I can watch some whip assing.
Yeah,
man, you ain't surprised, man. Yeah,
definitely do it on the network because it was way better on there. But yeah, we'll move on. But yeah, that's one of my favorite moments right there. Now we go to number
top 3.
Our top 3.
Holy
now
shit.
Let's see if you were correct about the 3 things that you thought was going to be. Well, you did say Dawson 316 was going to be up to number 1, 2, 3, and that was not there.
That was like, it's on the list.
It is on the list, but let's see what number 1, 2, and 3 are going to be. So let's start off with number 3. And this, actually, I'm wondering if I got the right video, because I don't know why Stone Cold's hiding over here. He's about to do a music video. But he's over here, and I was going to fast forward a little bit. Pow! Beer Bash!
Beer Bash!
Yeah!
Yeah, boy!
Yeah! Man, this was a great moment. But I will say, I'm so sick of this fucking moment.
They did overplay the fuck out of it, though.
They did.
But it was like a defining moment because that's just never been done before.
I mean, I'm sure when it was live, I didn't get to see this live because that was.
No, I didn't see it live either.
VCR.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw this in the Hell Yeah video, in the Stone Cold home video, and it was like, yeah, I remember driving out there and teaching me how to do it, and it was like, okay, my first experience even seeing this is him explaining the behind the scenes of it. So it was never a surprise to me. It was always compiled in some kind of like, remember when Stone Cold did this? Remember when Stone Cold did that?
I guess in your case, if you actually saw this segment before the Hell Yeah video, it would have been a little different for you.
Yeah, because right away I start from the behind the scenes, and it's like, well, that just took all the badassery out of it for me. Man, that's not cool.
There goes the magic.
Yeah, exactly. You're not supposed to know certain things, goddammit. But yeah, like, I mean, what are your thoughts about this particular thing, Hovig? Like, I mean, what do you love about this, you know?
It's just hilarious. Like, this motherfucker came out with a damn beer truck and just started hosing down everybody with fucking beer.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, Stone Cold beer and whatnot, but the fact that he actually did that shit, and I don't think that's even done before, that shit was just hilarious. Like,
it was funny as shit.
You know, but the funny thing is, that shit was hilarious, but I did kind of cringe when Kurt Angle did it with a milk truck.
I like that. That's actually one of my favorite Kurt Angle moments.
It cringed me, but that shit was also funny because it was milk.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? Fuck it.
Yeah, no, I thought it was funny as shit. But I mean, I see why you would cringe. But Trey, like you, man, like what is some of the reasons why you think this is a pretty great moment in your opinion?
Yeah, because this made it on my list. Just like the Austin 316 thing, it was just an iconic Stone Cold moment that I feel like should go on everybody's list because it was awesomely done by Stone Cold, and like it was never done before. I remember when I saw it on my VCR, it was awesome, and when Kurt Angle did it years later, I thought it was an awesome callback because that was doing the Invasion arc, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's actually during one of your worst moments of Stone Cold doing wind beneath my wings. And Kringle saved that shit.
Yeah.
You are the wind beneath my wings.
Talk about bad Stone Cold moments. That's the worst Stone Cold moment to me of all time. But we're not talking about that. The beer bash was awesome.
Yeah, the beer bash was great. And we will be moving on to our number 2.
Number deuce.
Now, number 2 and 1, you motherfuckers better fucking know what those are. If you're a Stone Cold fan, right now in the comments and put a little timestamp so you guys know, so you guys can prove to us that you're fucking, knowing this without cheating. But tell us what you think number 2 and 1 is. But
I think number 2 is going to be the ultimate submission match between him and Bret Hart, and number 1 is going to be WrestleMania 17.
I say reverse.
You say reverse? What's yours going to be, Trey? Or literally the reverse.
Number 2 is going to be WrestleMania 17, and number 1 is going to be WrestleMania 13.
Well, you know what? I got to tell you guys something really quick, and let me cue this up just right, okay?
We're both wrong.
Let me just cue this right out. I am really, really upset that you guys got that wrong. I'm so upset. I'm going to move this pool table out of the way. I'm going to throw these pool cues. I got to get the stick. I'm getting fucking mad. Oh, my God. Break that fucking stick, people. Oh, man. The
Stone Cold says WWF from the Alliance.
Oh, my God.
The old Stone Cold.
This is a story. This does everything perfect. Everything fucking perfect. This is a story that literally started on a SmackDown before this and ended, I think, pretty much at Invasion. This right here, him coming in and beating everybody with that fucking pole cue that he just broke at the fucking friendly tap. Fucking Vince McMahon basically telling him, like, hey, I need the old Stone Cold a week before, hurting Stone Cold's feelings, but then it hurts him so much that he gets pissed off and goes to old Stone Cold mode. The fact that he comes out and WWF's getting their ass kicked by all these Alliance members, and they've been rallying them up all fucking day to the point where they bring Freddie Blassie in this to have him, like, count everybody up. Like, dude, this was fucking writing beauty. This is how you write a fucking show, y'all. And not just a great Stone Cold moment, but a great moment in just writing, a great moment in fucking storytelling, a great moment in fucking action.
Here we go. I was going to be like, just wait until his ass gets out into the arena.
Oh, yeah, man. And I'm going to fast forward a little bit because the crowd is just like, God damn, like, everyone's just tired of getting the WWF's getting their ass kicked. And, yeah, man, like, here it goes. You'll see the crowd pop up when it happens. And there is. The crowd jumps up, and here's Stone Cold. And Vince sells this out so well. Vince is just like, yeah, Stone Cold. He's back. He's talking. There you
go. He's just talking hellish shit, just going down there. He's like, oh, these goddamn motherfuckers. I'm sitting there trying to have a nice drink over at the damn bar, and these motherfuckers are sitting. And he's just talking hellish shit.
The friendly tap. These motherfuckers are the unfriendly tap. I'm going to friendly tap your fucking face. And you just
here's a DDP for your ass.
And look at this. Like, great job on the Alliance, too, for just the way they were selling this. Because those were realistic hits and great bumps from everybody. Tommy Dreamer,
Tommy Dreamer just got fucking owned.
Yeah, Sean.
There's one. There's
Taz.
One. There's 2.
Bubba Ray.
3.
Everybody. And, oh, man, what a fucking moment, man. I love this moment so much.
I remember watching that shit live. Man.
I was literally like, I jumped out of my seat. My dad was like, shut the fuck up. But I was like, yes! I just started screaming. I was like, yes!
Good old dad. Always putting somebody down.
Yeah, but like, Trey, do you remember seeing this live or was it another VHS thing?
Man, I watched this live. Nah, this was live.
That shit was live, boy.
Yeah, this was live, boy. Man, this moment was awesome, dude. I marked the hell out. I was like, yes, Stone Cold's back. Yeah, get the Alliance. Because not a well-known fact, and I think a lot of people don't know, the Invasion arc is one of my favorite eras of wrestling of all time.
I love the Invasion arc.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I love it. I don't care what anyone says. I fucking love the Invasion.
I mean, we all know it could have been better. We all are aware that it could have been a lot better.
Yeah.
But then again, that's almost like every storyline. It always could be better.
Exactly.
Yeah, and obviously ECW and WCW are missing that key stars to make the arc as awesome as it could have been. But it's still one of my favorite eras of all time. And this moment is that number one up there with Stone Cold, the old Stone Cold coming out and being just kicking ass. Everything. It was just awesome.
I mean, to this day, I always go back and rewatch the Invasion pay-per-view and the Survivor Series of that year.
Oh, dude, that is my number one Survivor Series match of all time.
Yeah, I mean, oh my God, no, there's so much story in that fucking thing. Like,
dude, like fucking Jericho. I think it was Jericho coming out trying to ruin it for everybody. Taker coming out, be like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Starts beating the shit out of him.
Kurt Angle ruining it for the Alliance.
And then Kurt Angle ruining it for the Alliance.
Yeah. And even the build-up, man. Like this was on my list, where Stone Cold and The Rock like were having that promo or whatever, and then The Rock was like, "Oh, by the way, I'll never, ever forget." And he did the rock bottom on Stone Cold. Yeah. I love that freaking moment.
And the thing is, it was funny, but it was so fucking like serious and eerie too, because it was like they're singing, and it's like they both know, like, we're not gonna have a job after this. Like the characters themselves, because everything's on the line in 6 days. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the way they were just like singing, it's like, ha la la, you're gonna lose your job, fuck you, gonna ruin your life. But it was like,
I just really love that whole fucking invasion storyline. It was like a matter of like what 5-6 months.
yeah.
I think it was like from like May, June till about November. Like I
Well,
just
it
remember.
started with Shane in March when Shane bought WCW.
You know what? You are right, but I'm only counting it as when the actual alliance like took over.
Okay, then that was like in July, yeah, because
Yeah,
that's
that was like June-ish.
with
like
ECW taking over when Kai Putnam was like, "You guys want to get extreme? We want an invasion? We'll give you one,
Yeah.
motherfucker." And he just leaves the
Yeah,
commentators
and
booth.
then-
Like, oh.
And then even with when The Rock returns, and then he faces Booker T at SummerSlam for the WCW title,
yeah.
and it was just everything in general, like
Kurt
just that
Angle's not
whole
being a bitch anymore and turning into a serious fucking dude,
Yeah.
breaking everyone's ankle. Oh my god.
God damn! I just can WWE make a fucking DVD that's called The Invasion Arc, please?
Yeah, exactly. And then bring it back, you know? Or
Yeah.
you know, they always do these things where like they make a video game and it's about some old shit back in the day. And it's like, well, do that, but like have one of the chapters be the invasion. You know, I want to play as heel Stone Cold. I want to play as...
Oh my god! Just imagine WWE 19 had that shit.
Yeah, exactly. They need to.
Because you know, a lot of you always count the Attitude Era and the Ruthless Aggression Era, the Reality Era, and all that. The Invasion arc to me is that nice little middle of like history that gets ignored, and I hate that because it's like it was in between the Attitude and the Ruthless Aggression Era, and I love the Invasion Era so much that I feel like it needs to be an acknowledgement.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Invasion Era gave us a lot of guys too that ended up like paving the way later on. Like
It gave us WCW and ECW.
yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, Rob Van Dam, like talk about somebody who was just in there for a little bit and then became like the biggest part of it, and then went on 5-6 years later being, you know, I mean, Rob Van Dam is like a star.
You know what's funny? It sort of reminded me of the Invasion arc this past year leading into Survivor Series when SmackDown put Raw under siege.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That sort of reminded me of what happened during the Invasion era, but obviously not as amazing.
Yeah, exactly. But no, man, that moment was great. But now it's time to go into our number one. Now, this is another one of those where it's like, you better fucking know what this is.
Come on.
If you're stupid.
It's 17.
You say 17,
13.
Trey, what do you think it is?
I think it's 13. Even though I want it to be 17, by the way, but I think it's the Bret Hart Stone
But
Cold.
I'm hoping it's 13, but I'm thinking 17.
This is
I'm
the
hoping it's
most,
17.
I will say, this is one of the most emotional pictures in all of wrestling, folks. Here it is. It's 17. Stone Cold turns heel, shakes hands. with
Yeah,
that
see?
bastard motherfucker Vince McMahon. Like, this, I don't mind saying this. When I first saw it, I cried when I was a kid. Like, I was like, you turned into a bad guy, you fucking bastard.
When I first saw that shit, I was in shock.
It was like, are you fucking kidding me? Because he flips off the crowd and then he like stands over the Rock and pours beer on him. Like, yeah, you fucking dead body piece of shit. Like, just dropping beer on him. I'm like, wow, dude, this is fucking terrible. It was weird. You know what it reminds me of, actually? It's when you finally, and I know it's a really weird reference, but like sometimes when certain bad guys or certain people in movies or TV shows or games, when they turn evil or bad, it sounds like disgusting almost. And like it reminded me a lot of Big Smoke when he was a bad guy at the end of San Andreas.
Ironically, I was just playing that earlier on my computer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, but like, yeah, like, and if you guys are curious what I mean by that, it's like Big Smoke. It's kind of like awful to hear him talk a certain way. Like,
Big
I don't
Smoke
give a
and
fuck.
it's when you find out Big Smoke and Ryder ended up being involved in the death of your mother.
Well, that's fucked up, but it's worse when you find him at the end because, like, because certain situations lead to certain situations. So it's like, okay, maybe he's still regular Big Smoke who did something bad. Then at the end of the game, it's like there's a way he's talking about it that's like, oh god, this is gross. Like, this is who you are. Like, the way he's talking, like, I don't give a fuck no more, CJ. Like, you're a piece of shit. I don't give a fuck. And it's like, don't stop talking like that. Like, you're not you. You're sick. Like, something wrong with you. And it's like with this Stone Cold turning heel thing, because I actually counted this whole week of Stone Cold being a heel as the number one, not just WrestleMania 17, because the next night was just as bad.
Oh my god, the cage match.
The cage match with him and Triple H damn near killing The Rock. Like, you know what I mean? And like on SmackDown, him beating Jim Ross to a bloody pulp. in the way he was talking, like, you know, like, I don't owe you people a goddamn thing, you know, like,
Yo,
Yeah.
he became fucking ruthless at that point.
like evil, like sick, like sadistic, you know. Like, I don't know, Trey, but I mean, like, for you, like, what did you feel about it? Did you still like Stone Cold after this happened? Or not?
I didn't, but the thing is, storyline wise, it made a lot of sense because not only was the WrestleMania 17 was my number one moment, but if you count the whole thing, Stone Cold he felt like he was at the end of his rope for everything, and he was about to leave. Right? He made that well known in the promos or whatever that he didn't feel like he had a lot left in him, and he was willing to do anything in his power to like keep the title and keep himself relevant with the people. And he showed it at WrestleMania 17. He kept showing it until he couldn't do it anymore, and it was amazingly done. Like this is Stone Cold to me at his finest, in my opinion. Like I know a lot of people I know he regrets turning heel, and he says in the podcast all the times he wishes he started Vince at WrestleMania 17. But honestly, I like how Faith played out the way it did because we got to see a side of Stone Cold that he never really got to express even as that babyface heel because he was a tweener more than just a heel, but this was a full out desperate Stone Cold that I liked, and we don't really see characters like this anymore, and it's a shame because like they're trying to attempt this with Cena right now, but it's not working because Cena's too much of a good guy to do that, and I'm a Cena fanboy, I can admit that he's too much of a good guy, but Stone Cold was able to do the same thing Cena's doing right now, but do it perfectly done to show how he was willing to keep that title or keep himself relevant no matter what.
Yeah, and the cool thing about this is that match, it was like you saw the sadistic kind of evil side as the match was going on. There's parts where The Rock's kicking out of a stunner, and Stone Cold just starts getting so mad where he's literally saying the F word. He's just like kicking about him like, motherfucker, God fucking damn it, fuck, cocksucker. And he's just like screaming like on the top of his lungs. And if you watch this on the network, like it's in there. It's not censored out. And he's saying all this crazy shit. He even gets to a point where he grabs Vince and he's like, go and get that chair and you want you to knock his motherfucking head off. Like he literally screams that to Vince. And it was like, dude, this is weird. Like something just clicked in a fucked up way. You know what I mean?
It did. Yeah, it was awesome. And I recommend, like, he did a commentary on this match as well on his podcast, like about 2 years ago. And I recommend anybody who hasn't listened to that to like watch that match at the same time as him doing his commentary on it, because he does an amazing play-by-play of what Rock was thinking around that time, what he was thinking around that time, and it was just amazingly done. I love this match so much.
No, this is a beautiful match, and then the lead up and the Limp Bizkit song, and I've never seen such perfect booking ever in my life of wrestling. There's never been. The only better booking I've seen is the CM Punk Jericho thing, and unfortunately, it just led to a shit match, and it wasn't the main event, and that was awful. But aside from that, I've never seen such beautiful booking in my life, ever. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. This shit was incredible. I mean, like, is there anything, aside from this moment, Hovig, like, is there anything that you think... I mean, if you were booking around this time too, would you have done this in a different way at all? Like, I mean, as is, would you change anything?
Nah, I just let everything go the way it did.
Yeah, I feel like the only thing I would change.
One of the reasons why is because it was a complete shock for Stone Cold to turn heel, and especially just team up with Vince McMahon.
Like Triple H,
and Triple H, they ended up doing the power trip, or David, and it was just incredible at the time because we're talking about two people who fucking hated each other. Now they're like teaming up. Yeah, it's like what the fuck, So it was a shock and it was something different to see. So no, I wouldn't change anything that ever happened.
Yeah, so people, I love this fucking match so much. That's why we all agree it's number one. This is the fucking best goddamn Stone Cold moment of all time. And the thing is, if I were to change one thing, I would say I really hated that Triple H came out, because when he came out, the crowd popped the next night. When Triple H came out to save The Rock, or you think he was going to save The Rock, the crowd was fucking 100% for it. And they fucked up making him a heel too. And I was like, God, this will be the easiest way to make him a face.
He was already a heel.
True, but God, like what an easy face turn. It's like he is so mad at Stone Cold that he's still a bad guy, but he's a face because of his hatred for Stone Cold.
The funny thing is I honestly thought that Triple H was actually going to save The Rock.
Me too, because he threw his jacket down. He was like, motherfucker, and he's coming down.
I thought that so hard, and then when Vince McMahon ended up saying that The Rock suspended, like that shit broke my fucking heart.
Yeah. I know, like The Rock, like the way they're standing over him.
Yeah, and the way they're standing over him, they have their arms raised, and then I'm sitting there about to be in fucking tears, and then all of a sudden I find out, oh, he's shooting the Mummy Returns. I was like, oh, that's why it's suspended. All right, bye.
You know, but like even, and I mean, I know we're going off topic a little bit here, but I mean, like people, this was a heartbreaking area for wrestling for me. This shit made me really upset that I honestly didn't really want to watch, but him being a fuck off Lita and the Hardy Boys, this was rough, man. I mean, there's a part where he drags her, Triple H grabs her by her head and drags her fucking like limp body, and he flips her off. He puts his middle finger up against her nose and says, "Fuck you, bitch," and then stuns her. Like, yeah, dude. That's too far. That's way too far for me.
I guess that's our honorable mention.
Yeah.
Nah.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, goddamn. And look at it. Like just this one picture. Talk about balls. He's choking her out. Her unconscious body. He's choking her out with a chair. This is Stone Cold Steve Austin, people. Like, god damn.
Talk about ruthless aggression.
Yeah, that shit is horror movie-esque. That is fucking crazy. But people,
insane.
But Stone Cold's still a hero, y'all. And with that said, Trey, why don't you tell the folks what to look forward to after our beautiful day today?
Oh, after this awesome 316 day of celebrating the Stone Cold Steve Austin, who apparently chokes out Lita to the chair.
Well, if y'all didn't know that this was foreshadowed for what I do to Deborah, y'all got another thing coming.
I'm not even going to continue. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Go ahead, man.
Anyway, join us on the Facebook page, the Midnight Chat Attack. We got the Untitled Gaming Show ran by Ganja Guru and Alan Birdman. Join us there on the awesome Midnight Chat Attack Facebook page. We got awesome stuff going on all the time. And then on Saturday is the main event of this channel, the Midnight Chat Attack. Join us there, 7:30 CST. We talk about things going on all this week that we did not touch on the midweek. And then after that, we got the After Hours ran by Ganja Guru and Alan Birdman. Join us there. They got awesome stuff going there as well. And then you turn the clock back around on Monday and Tuesday. You get the Midnight Chat Tech Ringside Hangouts. Thanks for joining us tonight, guys, on this awesome Austin 316 day.
Austin 316
no matter what, still love this man.
I really do.
Still love this
please
man.
Come back. Please come back, Stone Cold. Please.
Just one more match.
Just one more match. One more match. One more.
I wanted to have another hilarious moment because I put this in one of my top moments. And Nick, you reminded me of this too because I was posting some dancing gif, and I was like, yeah, he was like, yeah, let's dance, Trey, and then it was like Stone Cold play dancing with Xavier Woods, and he stuttered as Xavier Woods. I love that moment so much.
Man, Xavier Woods, that shit was hilarious, man. And I'm gonna show it on screen really quick too because Stone Cold is fucking hilarious when he does shit that's totally outside of his character. That's at WrestleMania last year, or not even last year. The year before.
No, it was Texas.
Yeah, Texas. And boom, yeah, there we go. Click. And I love how everybody else too in the ring, the New Day and Shawn Michaels, Mick Foley, they all kind of joined in on that shit too. That was great. Yeah, God, Stone Cold Day, ladies and gentlemen. But with that said, it's time to get the fuck out of here before Stone Cold comes in.
Actually, there was one other honorable mention that we forgot to mention.
Oh, wait, what's up?
WrestleMania 30 with him, The Rock, and the Hulk Hogan in the ring.
Oh, yeah, and he basically...
Yeah, but that got overshadowed by Hulk Hogan saying Silverdome, in my opinion.
Yeah, that would have been a lot better.
Because that gave Stone Cold and The Rock some ammunition on Hulk Hogan. Like, oh, it's great to be back here at the Silverdome.
Oh, good point. Yeah, that was funny. Them joining on Hulk Hogan. Yeah, that's a good point.
But yeah, folks, so that's going to be basically it, though. Thank you very much for watching all that good stuff. And guys, Mr. Trey, Mr. Hofig, what do we do? What do we say in the 3 and 2 and the 1?
I love Stone Cold.
What?
WrestleMania, screw SummerSlam, and just for old time's sake.
Yeah, that's right. You sick myself, goddamn.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's right. You sing my song, goddammit.
I want the lemon inside you.